a stream. Welcome to our New Year's Revolution. Don't pay attention to that. We just got a show of AEW Dark.
Oh, don't pay attention to what's going on in the background because we're here to reveal New Year's Resolution 2005.
New Year's Revolution.
Fuck. After our last review didn't go well because there's absolutely no sound.
It was dog shit.
So we sat for that entire Rumble for nothing.
I feel
So instead, we decided to watch, it's WrestleMania season, and always on the road to WrestleMania, you got an Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So we decided to watch a show with the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Now, if you saw a tweet, I said we were doing a one with the poster of Jeff Hardy getting tortured.
That was awesome.
I forgot about that. So instead, we decided to watch New Year's Revolution 2005 live.
In San Juan, Puerto Rico, the beautiful island of the Caribbean.
Yes, Primo and Epico would be proud.
Carlito's not on the show.
Sadly. The show opened with a Puerto Rico travel video mixed with an Elimination Chamber hype video. So you got beautiful shots of the scenery and then people getting thrown into the steel.
Yeah, which Puerto Rico, has lots of people getting thrown into the steel.
The opening graphic there was a dragon flying in the Elimination Chamber, breathing fire and doing dragon shit.
As they do in Puerto Rico.
They do. Now, in all honesty, just a little advance warning. This is not a good show outside of a main event, whether it be through in a ring or through injuries.
Yeah.
And now let's get on to the match.
Wait. I was going to say, before the match starts, we get a quick cut down to the stage or the ringside area. The stage is set up, and you have, JR and Jerry Lawler at stage side where they're set up for the Raw set. And then you have down at ringside, Hugo Savinovich and Carlos Cabrera, who got a very nice... For the fans in Puerto Rico, they were very excited to see Hugo Savinovich and Carlos Cabrera tonight.
They were. Alright, the opening contest was for the tag team titles as defending champions Eugene and William Regal defended against Christian and Tyson Tomko. And boy, Christian's 2005 theme song and his entrance gear.
His big fluffy jacket.
And his big fluffy tag team partner.
I love it.
That was also great.
Christian Cage definitely he's not almost a classic, but he's getting close to being an instant classic. You could say that he's really caged up right now.
You could say that. This was one of the two matches that suffered from a knee injury.
Oh, yeah.
But before that, Eugene has a Eugene Mania shirt on.
To show that he's really representing the Eugenianites here tonight.
Yep. This was an alright match. We'll obviously talk about the big spots, but
I thought that's a really good fucking...
Shut the fuck up. We'll talk about the big spots, but this match was alright. Whenever Regal and Christian were in there, and Eugene, whenever Regal and Christian were in there, the wrestling was good.
Yeah.
Whenever Eugene and Christian were in there, the wrestling was goofy but good.
Yeah.
And then Tomko sort of slowed things down. I love Tomko. But Regal and Christian start things off. Regal out-wrestles Christian. Eugene wedgies Christian and does a Hulk Hogan taunt, because he's got his Eugene Mania stuff on.
Yeah.
Eugene with a JYD headbutts on Christian and then pees on him. Tomko in for a minute, yells, "What?" at Christian, and then immediately tags back out.
I don't blame him.
I don't either. Eugene hits an airplane spin and rides Christian like a horse.
The fans go crazy for that.
They do. For some reason, the referee got distracted and Tomko hits a chokeslam on Eugene. Eugene Hulk up with a big backdrop body drop to Christian. And finally, after a few minutes of getting worked up, he makes a hot tag to Regal. Regal goes for a little bit and then got cut off by a hard-looking clothesline from Tomko. So it looks like Regal, he bounced back. He recoiled from it.
Is that what... I think that was what broke his nose.
Yeah, because my next note was Regal with a bloody nose. Christian distracts the referee by saying Eugene's about to do something so Tomko can cheap shot Regal right in his stupid bloody nose. They continue to work over William Regal for a long time. Regal tries to fight back. Christian runs over and pulls Eugene off the apron before Regal could get the tag. Tomko and Christian double team Regal, but they Eventually, Regal's able to start fighting back when him and Tomko bump heads, evening out the match. Eugene gets the hot tag.
Oh boy.
And it was the worst decision of his match.
Yeah, it really was.
Because he starts off fine by hitting Tomko. Then Christian comes off the top, and Eugene does that spot where he punches him in the stomach, and the guy takes a front flip.
Flip bump, yeah.
But then he goes to drop kick Tomko, and he dislocates his kneecap, as we later find out.
Yeah.
And
seems like for some reason when Eugene goes to throw the old drop kick right there, like I don't know if it's his landing that tweaks his knee, or if it's the way he just like if he was like maybe out of place or not ready for it. But
I think it was how his leg extended, and that would dislocate it.
Yeah.
It was all a freak accident, unlike the next knee injury.
Oh my god. You mean the next knee injury that happens like twice in a row?
Yeah, 2 Matt. But we'll get to that in a second. So Eugene is obviously very hurt.
Yeah.
He's down, so they gotta improvise a finish. I was
gonna say, so for the improvised finish, we have Christian and Tomko doing a double clothesline on Regal, who's already got a bloody nose and a broken nose, out to the outside of the ring, while Eugene with his hyperextended knee, tries to get up and fight through the pain to roll up Tomko and sticks his finger in his ass.
Yes, he pulls down Tomko's shorts. Get an ass shot. Wouldn't be the first one on the last one on the night, apparently.
Yeah, no, they really like showing their ass tonight.
Yes, gotta give Eugene a lot of credit. He could obviously barely walk, but still able to do obviously an ugly roll up, but it was the best that he could do.
I mean, he still stuck his thumb in Tomko's ass.
Oh, you gotta let him know. Do you got anything else to add? Like, I just went over the notes that I took for like what I consider big spots.
Yeah, I really just let you consider the big spots. I've been writing some star ratings on some of them about how I felt personally.
Oh, all right.
I give this one, honestly, 2 out of 5.
Maybe, I would say the same.
Yeah, maybe even just a 1.5 just for the sloppy finish towards the end. I mean, it's none of their fault, obviously. They were working a pretty good match. They could have probably gotten into maybe a second or even a third gear, but it just didn't seem like that was the case after Eugene dislocated his kneecap.
It was overall a story told, a makes sense match where they beat up Regal, and then every time Regal looks like he would get the tag, they'd find ways to cheat.
Yeah.
And like keep Regal in the ring, and then Eugene would finally got his hot tag in, but unfortunately Eugene got hurt in his hot tag.
Yeah.
Which really hurt.
Yeah, fucked up the match
and Eugene. So yeah, I'd say overall it's like, and I don't do like actually like star ratings like out of 5 like in ring and shit. I just do like my enjoyment watching it.
Well, obviously, who am I to fucking judge whose in-ring quality is up to par?
So I'll say like 2 out of 5, like an enjoyment of watching it.
Yeah.
It was fine. There was times I felt like it dragged a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that Regal, working over Regal went a little long.
Yeah, I definitely got a lot of notes here about Regal getting his ass beat.
But yeah, so Regal and Eugene retain. The doctor has checked on Eugene and helped them and the refs helped Eugene out of the ring, and he got a nice ovation.
Yeah.
So a sad
strong showing from Master Eugene right there and Regal. Good that they could retain even with the fucked up leg injury.
I'm pretty sure the titles would be vacated.
I was about to say, as far as I know, I don't know what actually happens after this, but yeah, it sounds probably like the next course of plans probably they did after that.
I'm trying to think of who would be the tag champs at WrestleMania 21, but I don't even think they had a tag title match in that card. Oh well. So Christy Honey's at poolside.
She's
all the guys are
her stuff.
All the guys are looking at her, and she gives one guy a towel. Christian and Tomko are upset backstage. Edge is sitting there, and he says he's got an idea, and that he wants to help Christian. Christian said he's gonna get payback for the time that Edge recently jumped him, and says, Tomko, get him. And I'm pretty sure Tomko said, oh, hit him. But Edge says, no. You can be world champion. Let's walk and talk. So then Christian was like, Tomko, don't hit him. And Tomko was like, well, fuck. We didn't get a hype package for Lita and Trish Stratus, going over their entire feud, which started after Lita got impregnated with Kane's baby, and Trish was mocking her. And I wrote down some of the quotes from Trish, including the first line, Lita is a loser. And then she looked at her and said, you look a little chubby.
Oh my.
She showed up to Lita's wedding wearing all white.
Because Lita couldn't?
Yeah, because she couldn't pull it off. There was an adorably terrifying baby portrait with Kane's face.
Kane and Lita's face. It was their face merged together.
Oh my god. I just thought it was Kane.
Yeah.
There was Trish told Lita to open your heart
like you open your legs.
Then they showed their match from Survivor Series of 04, where very early on in the match, Trish got thrown face first into a chair and broke her nose.
Which led to Trish Stratus being grotesque.
Grotesque Trish Stratus. Then they showed a match on Raw, in the main event of Raw, a very famous match, where Lita goes for a suicide dive.
And suicides herself into bits and pieces.
Decides to recreate that logo from Ridiculousness.
Yeah.
Where she's standing
on her face.
Where she's standing on her face with her legs bent over her head.
That's awesome.
So in their first match, Trish broke her nose. In their second match, Lita broke her everything.
Spine.
Let's hope the third match goes well. It doesn't. So women's title.
Women on the line.
Lita defending against Trish Stratus. There was an intense lockup at the beginning. Lita trips Trish.
In the words of a good trainer of ours, the lockup is how you get people involved with the match. If you have a lazy lockup, no one's gonna give a shit about it. But you have a good intense lockup, then that's what really draws people. It's the first thing people see.
It is.
They did really good with that part.
They did. They were very intense.
How did everything else go fucking south?
Well, Lita throws Trish out of the ring.
Oh no.
And then she goes for a Lou Thesz press.
Off the apron. A running Lou Thesz press off the apron.
And she immediately grabs her knee. And why does she grab her knee? Because the brain trust that is Lita decided, you know how I'm going to do a Lou Thesz press? I'm going to wrap my right leg around Trish and bend my knee, but come down with my left leg completely fucking straight and just land on it straight and stiff. No bend, like Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
And just land on it. And she's lucky it didn't end up like Psycho Sid. She's lucky that all that happened was that she apparently hurt her knee.
Yeah.
But after that, the match got awkward. Because they were trying to hopefully not end the second match early. But it looked like they were going to have to end the match early because they couldn't do anything. Trish, put her in an ankle lock for 2. Because she put her in the ankle lock and then it went for a pinfall. Take notes, Kurt. The fans booed as Trish was just standing or Lita was just standing in the corner because they didn't want another match to end by knee injury.
But
tell them. The match ended when Lita went for a DDT. Trish pushed her off, hit the Trish kick for 3. Then another match they had to end early because of a second knee injury in a row on this Forsaken pay-per-view.
Yeah, at least with Regal and Eugene versus Tomko and Christian for the World Tag Titles, I could say, they were getting there. They were getting somewhere before this shit happened.
Long match. It was, within, 2 or 3 minutes that she really hurt herself.
Don't pay attention to this bullshit.
And the match probably all went, 5 minutes because she hurt herself in, the first 2.5 minutes.
Yeah. No, this one from a entertainment value perspective definitely is getting a 1 out of 5.
I don't even know if I can give it a full 1.
Yeah.
A half star because the lockup was good, and then it all went downhill.
The lockup was really good.
You know what?
They did a little, I wrote Lita Trish did do to the outside.
I thought that was a fucked up spot because I wrote in my notes they fucked up, but I just skipped that because it looked like Trish was trying to duck.
Yeah.
And then they grabbed each other and just do-si-doed.
Into the outside, and then Lita's like, you know what? Lou Thesz is dead, and I'm gonna prove it. Fucking breaks her own leg.
My God.
What a bitch.
So Trish is your new women's champion, and despite being probably the most legendary women's rivalry in America,
boy, it was shit when it went to the Caribbean.
The past 3 matches have not ended up well for these women.
The past 3 matches on this card have gone shit. We haven't got to the third one. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry.
Up next.
Oh shit! Brian Cage is out there.
So what happened was we didn't get a camera angle of cars driving down what looks like a sidewalk, a very small street. And Jerry Lawler goes, "Wah!" Like he saw a hot girl, but he goes, "What about those drivers? All you need to get a license here is to know how to blow the horn." Maria's at the poolside, doing Maria stuff.
You just do a Chris Masters entrance.
That's great. Edge and Eric Bischoff are backstage. Edge wants out of the chamber because Sean's a referee.
I don't blame him.
I don't either. Who would trust Sean? Not a Canadian. Edge wants Christian to be put in because he's not a Canadian. And the winner of the chamber would fight Edge next night on Raw. Bischoff said no because I've got sponsors and advertisers. Edge said, fuck the sponsors and advertisers. I don't give a shit about them. Bischoff said no. Christian looked sad. Edge stormed out. Sean's there. Sean said he'll call it down the middle. But if someone touches him, he will retaliate. But he said, I won't just retaliate. I'll retaliate physically.
Oh my fucking god. Shawn Michaels starting to get physical in this bitch, y'all.
And which brings us to our next match. For the Intercontinental title, Shelton Benjamin defends against Maven, and what I wrote was a Jordan Dream match.
Yeah.
So I'll let Jordan take over this main event.
Well, thank you so much, Andrew. Now, right now we have Shelton Benjamin defending his Intercontinental title against Maven in an Intercontinental title match.
Oh, wow.
And,
I mean, you said Intercontinental title match twice, but that happened.
So, we got Maven, and I don't remember if there's even a promo to start off this.
I wrote down what happened is they showed a highlight. It looked like a tag match. Maven rolled up Sheldon a month ago on Raw to get this shot.
Oh. Well, there you go. So Maven rolled up Shelton to get this opportunity. So going into the Intercontinental title match, Maven was starting to, I guess, to start off the match, Maven was healing on Shelton, not letting him get his hands on him, trying to get rope breaks, trying to get behind the referee. And then the fans in Puerto Rico started really giving Maven the fucking business for some reason.
Well, they just saw 2 matches end early, and now they're seeing another guy stall out his match.
So Maven hears these fucking fans giving him the loudest reaction probably that night for a heel.
Yeah, for anyone.
Yeah. And Maven's like, my rose, Maven tells these rice and bean eating fucks to shut the fuck up.
He says, I don't know what you fans are saying as he stands on a chair. He goes outside. He tells the referee, don't start the count yet. I got something to say. And
as the match was already started.
And the ref's like, okay.
Let's hear what Maven's got to say, fucking loser.
And then Maven sets up a chair on the outside and starts talking. And Sheldon's just standing there like, well, let's hear what he has to say.
So Maven has a microphone, takes one of the chairs, decides to stand up on the chair outside to make sure his voice is really heard by these fucks in the crowd. And he tells him, hey, Carte a boca. See, I do know Spanish.
There's a little before that because he goes, I don't know what you fans are saying. And then he stands up on a chair and he goes, well, I don't know how many of you speak English. So I'm going to say this slow. And then he got in a guy's face. And it was funny because later on in his rant, he looked at that same guy and he goes, tell all of your friends to shut up. It's like it's that one guy in front of all of the other
Hey, all Puerto Ricans know each other. Maven's just spitting facts right now.
That
fucking
is
racist.
True. He says, you would have wanted some rice and bean eating. He
Hey,
said,
my family's Puerto Rican. Fuck off.
No, they're not. He says, in order to become the Intercontinental Champion, he needs to concentrate. But he can't concentrate while they sit there talking gibberish. So give him a favor, and then he says the Spanish shit to reveal that he knew what they were saying.
Oh, that's where you hit him with the Carte a la boca.
But then, isn't that what Jabba the Hutt said?
Something like that.
But then, Maven, they boo him, and he says, I don't want this match tonight. I want it in the United States of America.
Which I'm pretty sure Puerto Rico is not an official state, but it is a territory of the United States of America.
No, that's not a state. He said United States. He wants it in one of the 50 states.
No.
Not a United Territory.
That's not the United Territories of America. Then we're all territories and not states.
Exactly.
It's a territory of the United States of America.
Thank you for proving mine or your point.
I don't even know what point we're trying to prove at this point. Brian Cage with a kip up. No!
So Maven goes to leave. He said he's not doing a match. But then he runs back in before the record counts to 10.
And does the match.
And Sheldon rolls him up to win.
Ha! It's over. So Maven, who just got his ass beat.
No, he didn't get his ass beat.
He got rolled up. Okay, he got rolled up. So,
I don't know how much was cut out.
I don't care. So Maven, after getting rolled up by Shelton Benjamin and losing the Intercontinental title match, says, "Hey, Shelton, you fucking stupid bitch. You and Trish Stratus have a lot in common. You guys have one thing in common," or something like that.
2 things. You both got titles?
Well, he said one thing. You have one thing in common, but he listed 2 things.
Okay.
He can't count. Neither can I. He goes, "Shelton, you and Trish have one thing in common. You both have titles. You both have no huevos."
And Sheldon said, and ran back in the ring to accept this challenge and hit a T-bone right away for 3. So Sheldon has beaten Maven twice now.
And defended his title twice.
So that's why you said Intercontinental Championship twice. Because it was a twice match.
Twice in a lifetime.
Out of entertainment, I'll give it, I think it's the most entertaining thing on the show.
Yeah. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5.
I'd say so. It's the only, I found it entertaining.
Yeah.
Out of matches, it's not good. But out of entertainment, it's the best thing.
Yeah, for the segments purely like that happened out there, and so they both had to leave back. And trust me, they leave. It takes a while for Maven to fucking leave in the back because you see him going behind Jim Ross as Jim Ross is on commentary.
Like I said while we were watching this, I honestly think that this extended long because they had to cut 2 matches short.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Maven and Sheldon were gonna get like 5 minutes and have an actual match.
Yeah.
But they had to find like a way to extend it.
Drill claw. No. Okay.
So would this have worked better on the Raw? Yeah, but did the pay-per-view crowd react to it? Yes.
Yeah. They definitely did, which
They're-
is good.
So then Christy Hemme and Candice Michelle are poolside, and Candice Michelle is putting tanning lotion on Christy Hemme. Ooh, sexy. Up next, we get a hype package for Muhammad Hassan versus Jerry Lawler.
Oh boy.
And how did we get here? Well, on Raw, they had an Arab American debate. Hassan and Daivari laid out JR and Jerry Lawler.
Beautiful.
There's a backstage promo where Hassan and Daivari said the recap was biased, only showed the violence from them, but not King and JR being assholes. Said people of Puerto Rico are second-class citizens, and that they were detained for 3 hours in the airport while their bags were being checked, and the crowd popped.
I popped too. That's what those fucking immigrants deserve.
So we then move on to Muhammad Hassan with Daivari versus Jerry Lawler with Jim Ross, which means yes, there's no commentary for this match.
And by God, I had to make a statement for this. I sat there and said, if they're not doing any commentary, neither am I.
So I guess I gotta carry this match.
Yeah, what a shock.
Muhammad Hassan, there was a tie-up. Muhammad Hassan hits a body slam. Jerry Lawler did a body slam. Muhammad Hassan hit 5 body slams. Daivari slaps the hat off Jim Ross. They did some boring-ass wrestling. The ref missed a Jerry Lawler roll-up to fix an exposed turnbuckle. Muhammad Hassan pushes Lawler into it. You think that would be close to the finish?
No.
He hits not 1, not 2, but 3 camel clutches, which would go on to be his finish. I don't know if it was his finish in his first pay-per-view match, but it would be. A neckbreaker for 2. I don't even remember who did it. Probably Hassan.
Probably Lawler.
I don't know, because it was followed by a boring chant, and when we saw Lawler do a Lawler up, the crowd reacted to Jerry Lawler making mean faces.
Yeah, he was definitely making mean faces. It looked like he had to poop.
Jerry Lawler hits a drop kick and a middle rope fish drop. The best thing of this entire match was Jerry Lawler hits the DDT, and Muhammad Hassan sold it by spiking himself on his face and bouncing back up,
Good for him.
which was impressive. But Daivari put Hassan's foot on the middle rope. Jerry Lawler went to chase Daivari, and he ran into Jim Ross. And Jim Ross said, "I'll suck you off." That's not what he said.
Yes, it is.
I'll sock you one with this fist. And Daivari ran into the ring. And
Got sucked off.
Oh my, by Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler grabbed his jacket, but got hit by a flatliner by Hassan to win. And out of entertainment, I gave that a half star.
I'm glad you gave it a half star because I gave it a 1 out of 5.
I did not find that entertaining
Babe.
at all.
On a scale of 1 to 5, Muhammad Hassan, Jerry Lawler. -2. There you go. Lily gave that one a -2 stars.
Out backstage.
I thought you were going to go Outback Steakhouse. Come to the Smash
That's our
Room.
sponsor.
We got the Bloomin' Onion.
Backstage, Randy Orton asked Batista, why is he a stooge? You're gonna beat up Triple H or make out with his asshole?
Yeah.
Batista said,
Make
yes.
out his asshole.
Batista said yes to both. Said, I'll make out with his asshole, but if I can win the title, I'll win the title. Jonathan Coachman on commentary.
Jonathan Coachman on commentary.
A recap of the Kane-Snitsky rivalry.
Oh boy.
Which, Kane impregnated Lita. Snitsky pushed Kane onto Lita. Lita baby dead. They in hospital and upset. Snitsky's wasn't his fault. I just realized they didn't even show the baby kicking angle in that hype
Yeah,
video.
they really didn't.
Bullshit. Kane said, I'll whoop your ass. Snitsky said, I'll whoop your ass. And that's how we're here.
House fight. But it's one
And you're right, ladies and gentlemen. Kane versus Snitsky is a semi-main event.
Oh my.
The second most important match on this card. Which, I mean, I guess is over the death of a baby, so high
Yeah.
stakes. Alright, if you want to go over your notes first, and then I'll read what I wrote down for it.
I wrote down that this one right here is a Haas fight between two big men, but it seems like it might be just a little bit one-sided.
Talk a little loud.
It seems like the Haas fight here between these two men, Kane and Snitsky, might be a little bit one-sided. Right here we got. You start off the match.
Alright. So, the first big note I saw, Kane hit 2 elbows and a leg drop. Kane beat up Snitsky for a while. Jordan said this was one-sided, and right then Snitsky took over with the sidewalk slam.
Yeah.
Snitsky went outside and exposed the concrete. He went for a power bomb, but Kane back body dropped him onto it.
Mm-hmm.
Body slams.
Body slams.
More of them, because the last match didn't have enough.
Yeah.
Bear hug. Snitsky body slam. Kane sat up. Snitsky kicked him in the face. Kane sat up. Snitsky kicked him in the face. Kane sat up. Snitsky kicked him. Kane didn't sit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's re kicks that it's re kicks.
No, just let him go. Just let him go. Just
For the rest of the review. It's re kicks that keep Kane down. They get to the outside. Snitsky grabs a chair and walks past Kane, and then turns and goes ahead Kane. But what I wrote was Kane booted a chair holding Snitsky. What it really was Kane booted Snitsky holding a chair. Kane hits a top rope clothesline, which reminded me of something, which I haven't pointed out of this entire match. Kane is a very energetic babyface when it comes to playing to the crowd.
Oh yeah, he likes playing to the crowd for some reason. Okay, we're restarting it. I have no idea what the
Kane
fuck
is
happened there.
I was fine saving for the rest of it. Kane is he loves playing to the crowd. Very energetic, like a little babyface, but he's a giant monster.
Yeah.
I may have missed one thing in it, but what I saw as the ending sequence was Snitsky bit Kane's ear. They both fell over. Kane sat up and tombstoned him to win.
No, that was it. That's literally what it was. 2 out of 5.
I'd say 1.5 out of 5.
2 out of. I like Kane.
I gave all 1.5 for Kane. Although, okay, I gave a half for Snitsky taking that back body drop onto the concrete.
Yeah.
Just for Snitsky. There's an ECW DVD video package, The Rise and Fall of ECW.
EC Dub.
Lawler is back on commentary. We get the full edit of the entire pool side, which shows the earlier vignettes,
Simon Dean.
but also Simon Dean is poolside drinking out of a coconut. He pushes some guy into the pool.
He was the guy who pushed the pool. Wasn't even fat. He wasn't that fat. He just had a gut.
Nah, that's too much. Val and Stacy are in the pool.
Who the fuck does Nova think he is?
So is Rosie and Hurricane. And then we had a first ever mixed match challenge as a 4-way game of chicken happened.
Alright, you got the notes for chicken?
Hurricane and Candice Michelle.
Versus?
Rosie and Christy Hemme.
Versus?
Rob Conway and Maria.
Versus?
Val Venus and Stacy Keebler.
What a
Hurricane and
fucking
Candice.
mixed
Shut
match.
up. Hurricane and Candice were the first eliminated. Hurricane hits his, what's up with that pose? Val and Stacy were next eliminated, and Jerry Law goes, not Stacy! It's down to Rob Con Maria versus Rosie and Christy Hemme. And Christy Hemme decides to play dirty, and she unties Maria's bra.
How dare she?
Or bikini, which allows them to push over Rob Conway somehow. Because apparently his bikini also got untied.
I mean, it's Rob Conway.
Rosie and Chrissy Hemme won the first ever 4-way
mixed match chicken mixed match challenge.
Okay, I'm sorry, that was a real semi-main event.
Yeah.
Which leads us to the main event.
Main event time.
For an elimination chamber, Triple H, Edge, Batista, Randy Orton, Nope, I wrote Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels? What?
Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, Benoit, Jericho, and Edge.
Or as I wrote this out, Jericho versus Edge versus Batista versus Randy Orton versus Chris Benoit versus Edge.
I'm glad we both got it wrong. With Shawn Michaels as the ref. How did we get here? Well, apparently on a Raw, it was Triple H versus Edge versus Benoit for the world title, which ended in a double finish when Benoit put Edge in the crossface. Edge rolled him up and counted as re, but he also tapped at the same time, so the title was vacated.
No, stupid bitch!
Batista won a Beat the Clock challenge to be the last man out of his pod. Now this...
The fuck was that?
This was a great match. It would be impossible to we'd be here forever just going over spot by spot.
Yeah.
So we'll just go over the bigger spots.
Go right ahead.
Oh wait, hon, there was a backstage segment first. HHH was mad that Batista said he would be champ. Batista said, calm your tits.
I just did to get Orton off of our smell.
Sudden Ric Flair was in the camera shot.
Yeah, he just popped up. Like fucking, what the fuck?
Batista said, it's a joke, bro. Unless your bitch ass gets out before I get in, then the big gold is mine. Hunter looked angry. World champion Eric Bischoff comes out to announce his chamber.
What?
Well, he was coming out with a world title. To announce the chamber. Shawn was really excited to be the referee. Like, if you watch his entrance, he's just pointing at the logo over and over again. So, Orton, Hunter, Edge, and Batista got a pod, which means Benoit and Jericho start things off. They start off with some good technical wrestling, then two huge chops from Benoit to Jericho, and the mean Benoit clothesline. Jericho with some chops back. There's a big superplex from Benoit to Jericho. Triple H is in, and he stomps out Chris Benoit on a big knee to Jericho. I guess I'll just go over my spots, and you can talk about what spots that you found.
Alright.
Benoit thrown out onto the steel. Jericho's also thrown out onto the steel, and Chris Benoit is bleeding. Jericho's back body drops Hunter over the top rope on the steel as he's going for a pedigree. He hits the alley-oop spot to Hunter onto the steel. Edge is in. He hits a corner spear to Chris Jericho and Triple H, and an execution to Hunter. And then, weirdly enough, an overhead belly to Benoit. Edge catapults Jericho into the wall. There's a spine buster by Triple H to Chris Jericho, but he couldn't. And then a pedigree, but he couldn't capitalize. Randy Orton comes in, throws Edge into the wall, and crossbody Hunters continuously punch over Triple H. He hits an RKO to Jericho. Went for an RKO to Benoit, but Benoit got him in a crossface. Triple H mocks him, and Benoit lets go of the crossface to put Hunter in a sharpshooter. But Randy Orton broke that up as the RKO. Edge goes to spear Randy Orton. Randy Orton moves, and Edge spears Shawn Michaels. And Edge is yelling at Shawn Michaels like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why'd you get speared, you dumbass? Orton moved. You could have moved.
Yeah.
And then he eventually did spear Orton. But Michaels was still down. So he picked up Shawn Michaels and put him in a corner and slapped him to wake him up, to which Shawn Michaels super kicked Edge. Jericho had a lion salt to eliminate Edge, and Edge is the first one eliminated. I'm just going big point to point to point here, but this was over a long period of time. This was not all this short span. This was a long, good match. I just wrote, after
Edge was eliminated, I wrote bad idea. And I don't know exactly what the fucking bad idea is. I just don't know when it's going to...
It must be soon, because my next note, Benoit diving headbutt off the chamber to Hunter. Jericho gets him in the walls. And
why would you do that to yourself?
I don't know. Well, it's just better to not talk about too much. Jericho gets him in the walls, and Benoit puts him in a crossface.
I will say, I did write a Jim Ross quote. Benoit with a suicide headbutt.
And that's how far we'll go into it.
Yes.
So Hunter's in a crossface and Walls. When Batista comes out, well, someone comes out, his pod gets stuck for a few seconds.
Fucking bullshit.
And Batista, being a mega athlete that he is, just jumps over the top rope, vaults into it.
You ripped your paper.
That's how hyped I got for Batista. And he just beat up Jericho and Benoit. He hits a gorilla press onto Jericho into the cameraman.
Yeah, I wrote that down.
And is the first shot you see just from the camera's perspective, so you just see Jericho flying at you.
Crotch first.
Yep. And then the second shot, you see an outside cameraman filming it, and you see Jericho just landing on the cameraman.
That's awesome.
They continue to fight. Jericho hits a Jericho hits a bulldog to Triple H onto the steel. Batista hits a spinebuster to Chris Benoit, and then a spinebuster to Chris Jericho on top of Chris Benoit, which allows Batista to pin Benoit to eliminate him. But Chris Benoit's the second one eliminated. Which, again, I'm saying this point to point, but this is probably like 10 or so minutes after Edge got eliminated. It wasn't quick after Edge.
Yeah.
Batista bomb to Chris Jericho to eliminate him. That was pretty quick after. Hunter and Batista work over Randy Orton for a while. Randy Orton started to fight back, and he went for an RKO to Triple H. Triple H pushed him into Batista, goes for Batista bomb. Randy Orton hits a low blow to an RKO to eliminate Batista. And the camera angle's good, because you can see as he's pinning him, you can see Hunter start to stand up, but then fall back down in.
Yeah.
To sow the seeds of the set between the Evolution boys.
Yeah.
So Hunter and Orton are fighting for a few seconds. Batista's still in there. They open the door to get Batista out.
Ric Flair runs in like a wily coyote.
And Shawn Michaels, doing his typical minimum referee duties, punches him in the face and stomps his bitch ass out. But while he's stomping out a man who's not in the match, Batista hits a clothesline on Randy Orton, which allows Triple H hit the pedigree and win to become the world champion.
No, not just any pedigree. It managed Triple H to get up, wedgie Randy Orton in front of the Puerto Rican crowd so they could all see his pasty white ass, and then pedigree him and leave him there with a wedgie.
And Triple H is your 10-time world heavyweight champion.
3.5.
Really? I thought that was like a 4 or 4.25. I thought that was a good chamber.
It was. I mean, that was a good chamber. Okay.
I thought it was
I still go 3.5.
I thought it was one of the better chambers because all the stories that sort of played into one. The Evolution story, the Edge and Michaels one.
Yeah.
That it's so.
What did Jericho really have going on?
Well, him and Benoit were just sort of the other guys. But the stories that mattered were focused on. It showed the discontent between Batista and Hunter, but still kept them together. But added new levels to it. Was Hunter watching Batista getting pinned and not breaking it up?
Maybe not like a star rating, but maybe like a grade. What would you give this?
No, we'll do star ratings because we've been doing star rating.
Okay.
Maybe we should do grades from now on, though, to like make it different.
Yeah.
Well, this is our last star rating one.
Okay.
So let's see. This is having to figure it out. I gave the opening a 2.5. I gave the second one, I think a 1. No, or a half. Yeah, I gave it a half because of the tie up. I gave the next one like a I don't even remember. It says the most entertaining.
Yeah.
So I guess another 2.5. I gave Lawler and Asana a half. Kane and Snitsky a 1.5. And then I made him at a 4. I think it's like a 2 or 2.5.
Really? I was gonna say maybe a 3, but okay.
I thought it was overall a bad pay-per-view. Two of the matches were not because of their own fault, but just injuries. Well, the lead-up one was sort of her own fault. I don't know why you landed leg straight. But the only match that's actually worth watching from this card was the Chamber. Everything else...
And maybe the Maven.
I was going to say, if you want to like watch the Maven Sheldon segment, it was a good segment.
Yeah.
Other than that, we need to actually get a good pay-per-view again.
Yeah, we have not had any decent pay-per-views recently. It makes me question why we brought back the review.
we need another one like Final Four.
Was Final Four even good? I just started bringing it up just to bring it up.
No, it was. It had that good, that fucking amazing main event. It had that Doug Furnace and Phil LaFon versus Owen and Bulldog match.
Oh, you're right. It definitely did. That is actually pretty fucking good.
We need to find a pay-per-view like that where we're not expecting it to be that good, and then we're like blown away with how good it is.
Yeah.
So we just gotta keep randomly picking them.
WCW, here we come.
Oh boy. Well, that was our grade. Jordan gave it a 3. I gave it like a 2.
Yeah.
I think it was a very bad pay-per-view with the exception of the main event.
I thought that...
Maybe not very bad, but just bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was very bad. I would say, yeah, bad.
But that was it. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully there's sound.